Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election. Uh, Internationally acclaimed writer and award-winning author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie wrote a letter to the President of the United States, Joe Biden, telling him the reason why he should not legitimize as for the Bola Tinubu election, saying that the election was flawed, and she gave an array of reasons why this is so. And of course, it is instructive also that Joe Biden, unlike other American presidents, had not been quick in congratulating Aswad Bola Tinubu. And we all know that one of the spokespersons of the APC, Femi Fani-Kayode, once sent a tweet to Joe Biden saying that Joe Biden is supposed to have congratulated Aswad Bola Tinubu, that Nigeria being a big country and all that, Joe Biden ought to have congratulated Aswad, despite the fact that the State Department had congratulated Aswad. But Fani-Kayode was saying the essence of Biden's congratulation. So that's why APC cannot claim that the letter written by the celebrated author Chimamanda to Biden is unnecessary, because they have also courted Biden to send a congratulatory message. But what is instructive here is the statement by Festus Keyamo, which has now been echoed by some other people, APC supporters in particular, that the letter written by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie was a symptom or sign of colonial mentality. Okay, but I want to show them that they are the ones that really have colonial mentality attitude. Themselves and their principal and the APC in general, they are the ones that have colonial mentality. Let me give you an example. Majority of Nigerians believe that the 2023 presidential election in particular was rigged. So if there is any people that APC need to convince that the election was not rigged, it was Nigerians. And it is obvious. Over 6 points, if you calculate the number of votes that was accumulated by peterobi of the Labour Party, Atiku of the PDP, and the Rabi Kwankwaso of the NNPP, is almost about 14 million votes, plus or minus. And Aswad himself had 8-point-something million votes. So it means that about 14 million Nigerians rejected Aswad Bola Tinubu. And these 14 million also believe that the election was rigged. So if there is any people that need to be talked to be persuaded to accept the outcome of the election, it is Nigerians. But what do we have? The Minister of Information and Culture, in line with the spirit of colonial mentality that controlled the administration and the Tinubu camp, had to go to Washington, D.C. to talk to media organizations to convince them that Nigeria's election was free and fair. Don't forget, it was at Washington, D.C. that Lai Mohammed was busy castigating peterobi, saying that he has committed treason and all that. He was there, and they were so proud to be telling us that uh, Lai Mohammed has been at the VOA, Voice of America. He has been with the Washington Post. He has been with this and that international media organization in Washington, reaching out to them. Why are they reaching out to them? They want to go there to convince them that the election was free and fair. If that is not colonial mentality, I don't know what it is. Because you don't have to go and convince foreigners that the election was free and fair. Especially foreign media organizations. They have their correspondents in Nigeria. They rely on their correspondent. And for you to believe that what you have gone to Washington to tell them is more true than what their correspondent was telling to them is to show that you don't even understand how the media works. I can give it as a free advice to the federal government that those people they went to meet in Washington, D.C. trust what their correspondents were telling them in Lagos, in Abuja, in cities across Nigeria, than what Lai Mohammed went there to go and tell them. That is a classic example of colonial mentality. So Festus Keyamo to take note of that. And Bayo and Anoga who are celebrating it. That Chimamanda was involved is a classic example of colonial mentality. It is theirs. They have exhibited colonial mentality by doing that. They exhibited colonial mentality when they were pressuring Biden to congratulate us for the Bola Tinubu. That's colonial mentality. Okay? So that's colonial mentality. They are the one exhibiting colonial mentality. Because Chimamanda was only trying to get Biden to understand what played out in Nigeria. And also reminded her that the State Department made a mistake in congratulating us as well Bola Tinubu in the first place. That was wrong. And so she was now reminding Biden, do not follow that path because the election was flawed. Do not legitimize it. Because Nigeria lives in a global village. Nigeria does not live in isolation. And Biden being the president of the United States and the leader of the free world, who is seen as epitomizing the symbol of freedom, it is essential that she be aware, that the United States president be aware of the enormity of what happened, how the election was allegedly stolen. That's what she told. He told Biden. That's not colonial mentality. Okay? That's not colonial mentality. It is colonial mentality was after the election, you were rejected by close to 14 million Nigerians. You ought to be talking to them to convince them that, look, you won fair and square. They were the one that witnessed the heist that took place on that day. You convince them that, no, what happened? This is the reason why the election went the way it was. This is the reason why we could not transmit the presidential election results from polling unit to the annex server on real time, even though we were able to transmit senatorial and House of Reps results and try to convince them on that. You didn't do that, but you rushed to Washington, D.C. to convince media organizations there that the election was free and fair. And the reason why you went there was because they were reporting that the election was not free and fair. Because if they were reporting that it was free and fair, or apparently you wouldn't have gone there. So you are the one that the APC is the one that is exhibiting colonial mentality. Then on top of that, your principal, as Bola Tinubu was declared president-elect on March 1st. After a short while, we heard that he has literally sneaked out of the country. Nobody knew about it because being a president-elect, he is no longer himself. He doesn't own himself alone. His body becomes part of the body of Nigeria. But he literally sneaked out until Sahara reporters called him out that he was flown out on emergency. Then that forced the media aides of Bola Tinubu to issue a statement saying that he had gone on vacation to rest after the hectic campaign. That he's going to go to France, go to London, and then go for Hajj. Now let us leave Hajj apart because Hajj is uh, a religious activity. Even though the time for it is have not yet, but they say he was going for small Hajj. Okay, fine and good. We can understand that. But when they say that he's going to rest, because Hajj is not part of the resting process, they say he's going to France and London. That's France and London for rest. If not that he is suffering from colonial mentality, why can't he go to Yankari Game Reserve and rest? At least, have you ever had any time in the history of any part of the world, except in this part of the world, that the president of a country or a president-elect went to a foreign country to go and rest? That's colonial mentality. The APC and Bola Tinubu ought to show a better example that they are not their apron strings. They are not under the apron strings of the colonial masters. That you're going to go to London and rest. When you have a Budukato ranch here in Nigeria, you have so many resting spots in Nigeria. In fact, if I had gone to such a place, it would have helped in attracting tourism to those places. Even foreigners coming to Nigeria would like to go to the place where the president-elect have gone to holiday at Yankari Games Reserve, at Obudukato Ranch. And there are so many of such facilities all over the country. None of them was good enough for Bola Tinubu to go to rest after the hectic campaign. His campaign was no more as hectic as the campaign of Donald Trump and Joe Biden and all the rest. But those people never left their country to go and rest in another man's country. They stayed put in their country. There are places they can go and rest. There are so many hideaways in Nigeria that even the president-elect going there to rest will attract tourism, will attract people to those places. Because it will be said that the president-elect of Nigeria is where he used to come and rest, at Obudukato Ranch, at Yankari Games Reserve, Kainji Games Reserve, so many places that are even much more relaxable place than London or Paris, if the essence is just to rest after the hectic campaign. So that is a typical example of colonial mentality. Colonial mentality is a presidential candidate, as Bola Tinubu, who was governor for 8 years, and yet he could not build a hospital fit enough, good enough for him in Lagos. He frequented hospitals abroad, in London and elsewhere. That is colonial mentality. That is a typical example of colonial mentality. So if we talk about colonial mentality, that is a typical example of colonial mentality, because these are colonial mentality that cost taxpayers money. Because given the humongous pension law of Lagos, which as was presented as executive bill when he was governor, as he was living in 2007, his medical bill outside Nigeria will be paid by the Lagos state government. Now that he has been declared president-elect, perhaps maybe it's the federal government that will pay for this one. If he goes there, if what he went for was medical, as Sahara reporters alleged. So that is colonial mentality. Chimamanda is old. Her letter was not about colonial mentality. Chimamanda is a typical example of what is good about Nigeria. Chimamanda is a beacon of hope for Nigeria in the sense that she is one of the people that has brought glory to Nigeria. She has opened doors for Nigeria. Nigeria is a country filled with a lot of negativities. The whole world hardly pays attention to Nigeria for anything positive. But for people like Chimamanda, there will be nothing to write home about Nigeria as far as the international community is concerned. See Chimamanda, see our entertainment industry. Those are the only positive. Our politicians that Lai Mohammed, Bayo Nanuga, and Festus Keyamo are struggling so hard to defend. The rest of the world have no regard for them. As far as the rest of the world is concerned, Nigerian politicians are no different from hush puppy. But Chimamanda, she brings glory to Nigeria. She brings honor and respect to this country. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you and yours. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like this video, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you.